Let's see. Recording pending. I'm just waiting. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Again, we are going to be kind of continuing to build our background knowledge today in preparation for our reading of Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. And as I said in the kind of opening of the lesson, we are going to be learning more about the abolition movement. And in order for us to kind of to do that, the first thing that we kind of do is we need to gather our thoughts about the things that we have learned so far. So what I'm going to kind of model for you guys now is what I would like for you guys to do going forward here. And we're going to download an anchor chart, which is going to help us kind of gather our thoughts as we are learning all of our background knowledge. So what I would like for you guys to do is to go into your team, into our Yukon English 7 team. And from there, we are going to go to the Files tab. And you'll notice that there is a new folder for our work with Frederick Douglass. So if you could, once you get to our Files tab, please click on the Frederick Douglass folder. You'll notice that there is only one document in there so far. So what I would like for you guys to do is to click on the 3 dots next to the file, the historical context anchor chart. Click on those 3 dots, and we are going to download this file. I'll give you guys a moment to kind of catch up. So again, underneath the Files tab, there is a folder titled Frederick Douglass. In that folder, there is a historical context anchor chart document, and we are going to click on the 3 dots, and we are going to download this file. When your file is downloaded, you'll see a green check mark on the files. That way you'll know that that file is in your downloads folder on your computer. What questions do we have so far? Should be pretty easy. We did this with the Long Walk to Water chapters, so it should be rather familiar to you guys. Now the next step.
Where do we go after we download it?
After we download it. Very good question, because we're going to get to that now. This is conceivably your desktop, so go ahead and minimize everything, and you should be looking at your desktop. Anywhere on your desktop, I want you to right-click, and then we're going to scroll down to New, and we are going to create a new folder on our desktop. So on the drop-down menu for New, the first thing should be Folder. So we're going to create a new folder. And we are going to title this Frederick Douglass. So this is going to be a folder on your desktop where anytime I ask you to download anything, we're just going to kind of consolidate all those files rather into this one folder. So that way it's a little bit more accessible to you. So if we have to open something up outside of Teams or outside of a particular assignment that you are working on, it's there for you. So you all should have a folder titled Frederick Douglass on your desktop. What questions do we have so far? Anybody struggling with the instructions so far? Or need me to repeat them or go over them again?
No, not really.
Now we need to get our file that we downloaded into our folder. So we are going to go down to the bottom where there is the folder looking thing on the bottom with that little clip. And that's our file finder, or file explorer rather. We're going to click on that. And mine pops up in the other screen there. So from here, your downloads folder may be on the top where it says quick access, but it will be listed on the bottom. So you're going to find the downloads folder. Click on downloads. And your historical context anchor chart should be the very first file at the top. From there, we are simply going to click and we're going to drag it into our newly made folder. And it will move it into there. So now when you open up your new folder, your Frederick Douglass folder, your historical context anchor chart is in there. And what I would like for you guys to do is once you have downloaded and you have moved that folder into your new folder, please go ahead and open that folder or open that file up. So everyone should have downloaded the historical context anchor charts from our files in our team. And if you could please open that file up, and we're going to talk about it in just a moment. All right, Antonio, thank you for keeping up. Aiden, thank you. Deshalee, nice work. Anthony, nice job. Kenyel, nice job. Sapira, nice work. Deshalee, make sure you're on the correct assignment. Francesca, nice job. Nice work, everybody. Nice. Got a couple of students who are a little far behind. Please make sure that you're keeping up. We should be looking at the historical context anchor chart. And we are going to talk about this. And I am going to ask for some volunteers from the class. Again, we are going to be using our equity sticks to call on some students. And we are going to fill in this left-hand side. And this is going to be the part where we talk about what we have learned about slavery. In other words, all of the background knowledge that we learned yesterday based off of our work, right? How slaves came here, maybe something about the way that they were treated while they were enslaved, anything like that. And our work today is going to help us complete the right-hand section tomorrow, okay? So the debate over slavery is when we start getting into issues of abolition and things like that. But first, we're going to check out this left-hand column where we are going to look at some of the things that we have learned so far about slavery. So, Emma, you're my first person that I am going to be calling on. So, what is one thing that that we learned about slavery based off of our work yesterday? And again, you can unmute your mic. You can put in the chat. Emma Mendez, if you are there, please type into the chat. Let me know that you are there. Looking for a response. Emma, I'm waiting on Emma. Emma, last chance. Please let me know that you are there. Again, we are looking for one fact that we learned about slavery based off of our work yesterday. Davian, we're going to move on. Davian, what's one thing that you learned about slavery yesterday? One fact that you had learned. Davian is here. Yep. Davian, you there?
Yes, mister.
All right. So, what is one thing that you learned about slavery based off of our work yesterday? And it could be anything.
They get beat on. Like,
yeah. So.
You're not sharing your screen, mister.
Sorry. Thank you for thank you for pointing that out. All right. Let's see. We're beaten if they were what? What would be one of the reasons?
what they were not supposed to do.
All right. So if they were not productive, right? Productive. Or what's another thing that we learned in our reading yesterday? If they were not productive, or what else? What would happen if they sorry, go ahead. I don't want to take any words out of your mouth.
Like they were all scrambled together on the boat, and they
Okay.
were all like,
Oh, nice. Continue.
and they would get like marched also because they're so squished, and there's a whole bunch of them on the bottom of the boat.
Yep. Exactly. So they came over in slave ships and were, let's say, crammed together to fit as many as they could fit. Who remembers the name of the route that they took? There's a special name that we call that. There's a special name that we call that route. Well, the file will not let you type. So Safira, make sure that you have downloaded the file and opened it. And then once it's on your computer, cool. Okay.
Mr. is doing the same thing to me.
Huh, that's strange. Once you download it, you should be able. Okay. At the top, can you?
It should be at top. They're saying enable editing.
Enable.
Oh
edit.
yeah.
Yep. Enable edit. Click on that. Yep. Good. Thank you, Anthony. Very cool. Does anybody remember the again? I'll repeat the question again. Does anybody remember the name of the route that people took? It was called kind of a snappy name, so we can remember it. And it was kind of in the shape of a triangle. That might give it away for you. Do you remember what that is called? Or do we need a little bit of a refresher?
I need a refresher.
All right. It was called the triangular trade, triangular slave trade. And then we can put that in parentheses. There's triangular slave trade. So the route that they took in order to to bring slaves to America was called the triangular slave trade. So basically it started in somewhere in kind of like Central America or the Caribbean, right? In that area rather. And they moved up to England, traded what they had for some goods, made their way from England down to Africa, traded their goods for slaves, and then they went back to the Caribbean, and then or some ports in Virginia and South Carolina. So that if you look at it on a map, it forms a big triangle. So yes, it's called the triangular slave trade. What else? What else did we learn? And I'll see if I can pick someone else. Jolly Niece is not here. Let's see. Anthony, what's one other thing that is not listed that we learned yesterday?
The Virginia group.
Virginia group, yeah. So what can you tell me about? What do you remember about the Virginia group? What do you notice? What was one of your observations of that image?
It looks like that they were like they had to take a photo to show of what they were going through.
Perhaps. And what's an example? I'm gonna ask you to dig a little bit further. What was an example of something that maybe they went through? Think of maybe how many people were in that photo. What do you think? Do you remember?
I can't remember right now.
Okay. Let me see. I might be able to bring it up because I think you do bring up a really good point. It talks about how, there were a lot. So there were a lot of slaves in there, right? A lot of slaves in that one group outside of that one cabin. So what is what is it called? What is a conclusion that you could draw based off of that? There were a lot of people in this one cabin. So what's a conclusion you might be able to draw from that? What do you think? I think there were roughly about 22 or 23 people, including children, in that photo. And they were sitting and standing outside of that one cabin. So what's a conclusion that you can make about that cabin and those people?
They're of how they lived.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I think it might have been this class or another class that kind of made the observation that they were sort of crammed together on their way over to America. And once they got here, they were basically crammed into another space, right? So we can say many slaves were packed into only one cabin to sleep, right? Good. Let's see. Anything else that we want to add on to our anchor charts before we move on to the text now?
The field thingy.
Ooh, the field thingy. Okay, so can you take that a little bit further, Daishley?
I honestly don't know what they were doing. I just saw a field.
In the field, okay. So what let me see if I can kind of help you dig through it a little bit. Do you remember the plant that they were, or the crop that they were picking? Do you remember what it is? Chances are I'm wearing a shirt that's made out of it. My t-shirt.
Cotton.
Cotton, exactly, right? And if you can kind of recall that picture, what how many slaves do you remember? And I'm not looking for an exact number, maybe more of like an estimate, right? How many people do you remember picking cotton in the field? Was it like only one or two, or was it a lot more than that?
It was more than that.
Way more than that, right? So we can kind of conclude that many slaves were
There was
needed.
also some kids there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There were children as well as adults. Yep. We needed to pick the crops. And we can say cotton. Tobacco was another one. Very good. Thank you, Daishley, for volunteering. I appreciate that. All right. So again, we are going to keep this this anchor chart on our computers, and we are going to add to it tomorrow as well. And today we are going to learn some information to fill in this right-hand column, the debate over slavery. So there was a huge debate, believe it or not. Even though slavery was very much illegal for a long, long time, it was 200 plus years that slavery was legal. There was a big debate that went on between politicians, between states and things like that, of whether or not slavery should continue. And nobody really did anything about it until the kind of we reached a little bit of a breaking point in the mid 1800s in terms of the Civil War. So we are going to learn, and one of the reasons why is because of the abolitionist movement. So can I have a volunteer tell the class what it means when I say abolitionist? What is the meaning of the word abolitionist? In the chat. Can you copy and paste that first? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Do you want me to put it in the chat? Yeah. So who remembers what an abolitionist is? What do you think, Antonio?
Abolition. I don't know how to say it, but abolitionist.
Yep, there you go.
Is somebody who stands up for slavery.
Yep. So for or against slavery?
Or against.
Would you say that an abolitionist was for slavery or against slavery?
Against slavery.
Against slavery, exactly. Yep. So an abolitionist is anybody who supported or worked toward the ending of slavery, right? So the abolitionist movement was very, very important into to eventually the Civil War, and then eventually after that, ending slavery. All right. So what I'm going to ask for you guys to do now is to go into your assignments and open up the independent practice for today. and it is Independent Practice 114. It is Abolitionist text and TDQs, I believe it is. So please make sure.
I can close the.
Yep, you can close the anchor chart. Yep, absolutely. You can close the anchor
Wait,
chart.
mister.
Yes.
It says that you and Sophia are in here.
Say
Working
again?
on it.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I'm in.
Okay. Yeah, excuse me, once you're set with the anchor chart, you can close that. We are going to add on to it tomorrow. And now we should be moving on to the Independent Practice 114 abolition text and TDQs. And I will pull that up and share that in just a moment.
Okay.
Independent practice.
Yep.
Evolution.
Abolition text and TDQs. Yep.
Do I have to
Hold up,
open it?
mister. I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so if you can actually open that just in Teams, because what we're going to do today, and hopefully we'll have enough time to do this, because I'm just sort of going to introduce the text to you, and then
It's not letting me edit this.
The assignment.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Can't edit. Oh, good point. I am going to update that. All right, so if you have it open already, close it and then go back into the assignment. So you should be allowed to edit it at this point. I did edit the assignment to allow you to do that. I must have been in my haste this morning not allowed you guys to edit, so I apologize. But thank you for letting me know so now I can fix it for everybody else. All right.
It was like, they're not gonna do it.
Mister, it's not letting me edit still. Hold on, let me refresh the page.
Yeah, refresh it and you should be good to go. Because I did update the assignment in Teams. So again, if you guys could close out of it if you have opened it already, and once you go back into it, you should be allowed to edit it. All right.
Oh yeah, you can edit it now.
Nice. That's my fault. I apologize. All right. So what we are going to do today in groups, and you'll have roughly 20 minutes or so to work on this, depending on what time or how long we work here. Let's see. So this is an excerpt from Freedom: A History of U.S., and this is from the same text that we had read yesterday. Yesterday we read about the slave trade. Today we are reading about the abolitionist movement. So what I'm going to do in just a moment is I've separated you guys out into breakout rooms. There are going to be 4 students per breakout room. You're going to read through this text as a group, and there are only 3 paragraphs. They're a little long, but it should not take you that long to read through them. Once you are finished reading, there are then 3 text-dependent questions for you guys to read. Or, answer. For each question, you should write at least 2 to 3 sentences. 2 to 3 sentences should be enough to answer each of these questions. And you are going to be using evidence from the text. So I'll be looking for some evidence there. And if you find a quote, you can essentially copy and paste it into your answer to make it fit. All right.